What's going on, guys? It's Royalty Crypto here and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at SEI because it is one of the most promising layer 1 blockchains in the space right now, in my opinion. And I'm also going to be talking about the overall crypto market and where I expect these coins to go in the next couple of weeks because we have had a bit of uncertainty enter the market yet again today. Also, guys, this is a brand new channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get right on into this video. So as you guys can see here, we are taking a look at the SEI chart. We are currently trading at about 18 cents here, which is a $1.1 billion market cap. We also have 150 million in 24-hour trading volume, which is very solid for a coin that's just over a $1 billion market cap. And it really does go to show that there is quite a bit of attention around this coin. Also, guys, as you can see here, we do have a fully diluted market cap of 1.8 billion. So you will be dealing with a little bit of inflation with this coin, but nothing that's very significant. And this coin actually does have better tokenomics than most layer ones in the space right now, so you do like to see that. But yeah, we are currently looking at the all-time chart for SEI, and as you can see here, and let's switch to market cap, we did actually top in December of 2024, or actually late November, which is pretty typical for most altcoins in the space. This was during the extreme euphoria caused from the Trump election win, and this is back when people were speculating the fact that Trump would have like a national crypto reserve where the US would start buying crypto, and that we were going to have so many bullish things coming to the crypto space. And guys, a lot of the bullish things that we were anticipating, like, market structure deals actually are coming, and that is very bullish. But of course, people love to buy the rumor and kind of sell the news, and that's kind of what we saw with this event. Obviously, there was a lot of uncertainty that entered the market with like the tariff situation and whatnot. But yeah, overall, guys, that was a very euphoric time to be in the crypto space, to say the very least. And during that time, we did nearly get to a $3 billion market cap. I do believe that SEI could easily get back to a $3 billion market cap, and I actually think that this coin could go much higher than that. I think that a realistic target for SEI this cycle is more like a $20 billion market cap, which would be about a 17x from here. So of course, that is pretty insane returns on your investment, especially considering the fact that it could potentially happen in the next 6 months or so. Obviously, it's very difficult to predict like exact times of when we'll see a parabolic bull run, but I do think that it is very likely that it will happen in early Q1 of next year. I think a lot of macro events are lining up for that to be the case. We'll have most likely multiple rate cuts before then. We have Jerome Powell being replaced in May, which I do believe will bring a lot of euphoria into the altcoin space. And we most likely will have quantitative easing coming around the corner as well. So I think that that could potentially cause that run that we're all looking for. Now, guys, it is very possible that SEI could gain insane amounts of traction. I'm not predicting this, but it is possible. And I could see this coin potentially pushing towards a $100 billion market cap at some point. Now, this is far from a guarantee. This is just speculation, but you can't necessarily rule that out with a project like SEI, especially considering the fact that they have a Giga upgrade coming around the corner, which is scheduled for some time in Q4. I don't believe there's an exact date on this, but they're aiming to upgrade SEI's performance by up to 50x, targeting 200,000 transactions per second, and those transactions would be under 400 milliseconds. So this would be basically competing with the best of the best when it comes to the layer ones. And I do believe that, SEI could potentially have a run like SUI had. And I believe SUI has a lot more potential as well. So say SUI pushes to a $100 billion market cap at some point in the coming months. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if SEI follows suit and does at least a 50x from here. It's very possible. And another thing that's very bullish that came out about SEI recently is the fact that Binance has officially joined its validator list. So Binance is, of course, one of the, if not the biggest exchange in the world, and it is undoubtedly going to strengthen the network security and credibility, of course, because if Binance is involved with a project, you know that it's not a scam coin, you know it's not going to dump to zero out of nowhere. Binance does plenty of research before making a move like this, because obviously their reputation is on the line. So if they ended up becoming a validator for a coin like SEI and it ended up tanking or ended up being a scam, then that would look incredibly bad for them. So you know that they're not making this decision lightly. So yeah, guys, I would definitely be selling on the way up, and I'll keep you guys updated when I plan on selling altcoins like SEI. And I think it's very important to take profits, but definitely in the realm of possibilities to see a coin like SEI push to a $100 billion market cap. So fingers crossed for you guys that this actually does happen. But all right, guys, let's take a look at the overall crypto market. So as you can see here, we are currently sitting at a 31 out of 100 on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, and this updated last night before this recent sell-off hit. So we're probably sitting around a 27 right now, I would guess. So we are well into fear. Whenever we're well into fear on this indicator, I do think that it is a great time to be buying assets. This is not financial advice, of course, but personally, guys, I am a contrarian trader, especially when the macro conditions look very solid, which they do right now, in my opinion. So when both of those things are true, I think it's a great time to be buying, and that's personally what I'm doing as well. So we'll just have to see what happens with the crypto fear and greed the next couple of weeks to months. I do expect that we will return to greed, most likely before the end of this year. However, we do need some macro uncertainty to clear up, and that is kind of what I want to talk about next. Because as you guys can see here, the House of Representatives is set to vote on a bill tomorrow that would formally end the US government shutdown. So I think the reason for the sell-off today is because traders are very nervous about this event. This is kind of like what we see like the day before FOMC meetings when the market kind of sells off. It's because I believe the market is very nervous that the House of Representatives could potentially vote this down, and that would extend the government shutdown. Now, even if this vote doesn't go well, I still do think the government shutdown will be over in the next 1 to 2 weeks, worst case. However, I do think that this will actually get passed tomorrow. I think the government has insane amounts of pressure on them to get this bill signed because, for one, the situation with the airports in the US is a complete nightmare right now. I think there was 1,200 flights canceled yet again today, which is just such a terrible look. And this also is affecting, politicians quite a bit because a lot of private planes are actually being delayed and canceled as well. So this does affect them directly. And now another thing, the majority of government workers aren't getting paid and haven't been paid in the last 40 or so days. So they're starting to feel it. I mean, a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. You can't deny that fact. So even though they will be receiving back pay once this is all said and done, it doesn't mean that they're not struggling right now. So yeah, I know that the government is undoubtedly feeling that pressure. And the one bullish thing that people aren't necessarily talking about is the fact that once the government does reopen, we have an absurd amount of money that will be pumped back into markets most likely because of all the back pay that these people will be receiving. So it's basically going to be a mini liquidity event when this does happen. So regardless, guys, if this doesn't end up happening tomorrow and we do get yet another sell-off, I wouldn't be worried about it. It's really just short-term noise in my opinion. And before the end of the year, this will all be cleared up. That also should clear the runway for a potential Q4 rally for not only crypto, but also the stock market. All right, guys, let's take a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. So this is on the 1 month right now. Guys, you can still see that there is an absurd amount of shorts compared to long leverage in the space right now. And that really does make me think that we will most likely push back up to 118,000 for Bitcoin. This would be like a max pain scenario for the bears. And I believe that they will be targeted in the coming weeks to months once this uncertainty clears. That should catapult the price of Bitcoin up to 118,000, which could potentially lead us to retesting the all-time highs around 126,000. Now, if it doesn't happen by the end of this year, as I said earlier, I do think that it will happen in Q1 at some point. So guys, personally, I'm staying bullish because I think that there's way more reasons to stay bullish than to be bearish at this point in time. But all right, guys, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Don't let the downward momentum in the markets affect your mood, and stay positive, stay bullish, guys, and I will be talking to you later. Peace.